Harsh Madhusudan Gupta here, and of course we have Vishal as well, back for a conversation. The topic is, can Mumbai remain India's economic powerhouse? I think, in the days when Gujarat is talked about as a leading destination with Gift City and a number of other projects, this sounds to be a very, very interesting discussion. Harsh Madhusudan Gupta is, of course, one of India's very well-known, media personality. He is, India-based public markets investor, a CFA chartered holder. Harsh graduated from Dartmouth College with an AB degree in economics. He holds an MBA from INSEAD, and he's also serving as the public interest director on the board of NSE 11. He has authored 2 books, Derivatives, and my personal favorite, A New Idea of India. A recipient of the Dr. B.R. Shenoy 2022 Economics Award, Harsh has written extensively on economics, finance, and politics for publications like Mint, Swarajya, Wall Street Journal, Indian Express, and several other publications. And of course, Vishal Bhargava next to him is a finance and media professional with over a decade of diverse experience in investment banking, research, corporate strategy. He's a founder of the real estate platform BHK Voice. And as I mentioned earlier, he's also a columnist with Money Control and hosts a popular show, The Tenant. And moderating the session will be Varun Singh. Everyone, a big round of applause for the 3 of them. And this will also be our final session here, so just keep the energy flowing, guys.
Can Mumbai remain India's economic powerhouse? बहुत से लोग बाहर हैं, चाय पी रहे हैं, और यहाँ पे जो लोग हैं पीछे, अभी लास्ट सेशन है, आप लोग आगे आ जाएंगे तो थोड़ा बेहतर होगा. प्लीज, लास्ट रिक्वेस्ट, एवरीवन कम अहेड. इस सेशन पे दरअसल मेरे पास तो बोलने के लिए कुछ नहीं है. मेरे साथ जो 2 लोग हैं वो ज़्यादा इस पर बोलेंगे, एंड आई प्रोबेबली विल बी ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम देम द बेसिक क्वेश्चन का आंसर, क्योंकि इन माय ओपिनियन मुंबई विल रिमेन द पावर हाउस, बट फॉर अ आई थिंक वी आर टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ इट. आज से 20, 25, 30 साल बाद probably we may not say the same, because the kind of development that is taking place in other, even our budget that we had, interim budget, it also laid a huge emphasis on tier 2 and tier 3 city development. And most states, thanks to, लोग कहते हैं कि 90s में जब इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स आए तब देश बदला, पर मुझे लगता है कि जिस तरीके से जियो ने देश को बदला डेटा कम करके, उतना और कोई नहीं बदल पाया होगा. And probably that has given dreams, opinions, hopes to many. And I don't mean only Geo, I mean internet data. So that has also changed things a lot. But ये तो मैं ऊपरी सतही बात कर रहा हूँ. जो डीप बातें हैं वो विशाल and Harsh will say. So Harsh, what's your opinion on this question?
Thank you so much, Vishal. Varun. Of course, Vishal is here.
हम दोनों सेम दिखते हैं.
And he's very Vishal indeed. Thank you to NSE, thank you to Swarajya, thank you to all the organizers and sponsors. I think the brief answer is yes, I agree with you, Varun. But let me give you slightly more of a macro perspective, as in somebody who studied economics and is thinking and writing about these issues, and then I would really look forward to Vishal's kind of more micro grounds up perspective. So I think there are 2 aspects to this. First of all, how does India itself do? Because if India does very well, then there is an amplified effect on what is India's current biggest economic powerhouse, urban, which is Mumbai right now. And secondly, as you hinted, what happens within Mumbai, within India, in terms of distribution of urban powerhouses. So I think if we look step back, urban agglomeration is a term used in economics, whereby it is very difficult to destroy a city. like you need rent control or communist rule for 30, 40 years. Like, I come from Calcutta. It's very difficult to actually destroy a city because a city by definition has a massive human capital momentum in it. So, we remember then when Brexit happened, I think in 2016-17, a lot of people were worrying that the financial center of Europe will go to Frankfurt or Paris and this and that, and nothing happened. Similarly, there have been a lot of obituaries written about New York or Manhattan specifically. In the US case, the real estate is very expensive. Why would anybody want to have their corporate headquarters here? But in reality, that's not how it works. As Mr. Vadhwa was saying, people have their social circle. And any organization which is commercially successful beyond a point is not trying to arbitrage or optimize on just rent as one variable. So the first part of the question is, what will India do? I mean, I'm writing my third book right now called Long India. I think the Indian economy will do much better than a lot of people think right now. So what happens is, for example, Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Gurgaon, they all came up through first the BPO and then the KPO boom. Mumbai was the city which was reserved for Indian corporates and Indian jobs. So Mumbai has not seen that much of a BPO, KPO boom, partially because of real estate rent being always higher here. So if you are more long on India, and of course part of the reason is this kind of outsourcing, then you have to be long on Mumbai. Now some kind of discount brokerages have gone to Bengaluru. Zerodha is the most prominent example. A lot of these global capability centers related to finance are not in Mumbai, but everything else is in Mumbai. So, public equities, but especially anything to do with banking, investment banking, private equity, wherever two people have to meet and shake hands. Now, till 4 or 5 years ago, I might have said that, the way Mumbai was the future and Calcutta was the past in the 60s and 70s, Bengaluru is the future and Mumbai is the past. But now I would kind of do a reanalysis, a Bayesian update to that view by saying that the recent 3-4 year infrastructure boom in Mumbai by Devendra Fadnavis ji, first as Chief Minister, now as Deputy Chief Minister, it has really changed the game because Mumbai was always landlocked. And I think you gave the right example. We were talking privately that but the Atal Setu is in Mumbai's Brooklyn Bridge. Now suddenly the catchment area or the hinterland has opened up. And of course there is a Mumbai-Pune missing link corridor. There is the Mumbai Metro coming in. It still has 1/10 the capacity of the suburban rail, but it's fast catching up. So it has gotten a rejig for the next 20 years. And therefore, since there are no bad policies, just by the sheer momentum, Mumbai is likely to do very well. So I'll just conclude and listen to Vishal's perspectives, but my opening remarks are this.
That's a very different take than what I was expecting. But Vishal, one thing, Mumbai is no longer Mumbai. We call it as Mumbai Metropolitan Region. Did that, I'm just like 5 years from now, 5 years before or go from now, as a journalist, I would only, when I had to write, I would write Mumbai. I would never write MMR. But आज मैं सिर्फ मुंबई नहीं लिखता हूँ. आज मैं MMR लिखता हूँ. Again, using a overused term in politics, master stroke. Whosoever came up with, was MMR the master stroke that probably what he says has saved Mumbai, has changed Mumbai's perspective, added more land, added more infrastructure, added more people, and added that kind of land where you can have more industries and people don't have to come only specifically to Nariman Point or BKC and can work from there. Has that acted as a saving grace for Mumbai from deteriorating, do you think?
Actually, that's a very interesting question. Mumbai's strength has been that earlier, in a way, it was India's first city. Kolkata also in some ways, but Kolkata is no longer a city in a way. At that time, it was.
Kolkata kya?
Since Harsh mentioned that he stayed there, I was born there, so I don't have any particular fondness towards it. So that earlier, I think till the early 90s, Mumbai was like Amitabh Bachchan. There was Mumbai and there was everybody else after that. And there was a big gap. Then I think we took it for granted. Mumbai has to be itself, and we used to get happy by Mumbai home prices being so high. Some good looking tall buildings were there. Roads that were built because of things like Nariman Point. They were actual stars when it came to India. We sat on our horses for too long, took it for granted. And within Mumbai, just to see, I think how Mumbai can go forward, I think you should look at South Mumbai. South Mumbai was, so I stayed most of my life in South Mumbai. So it had probably the most snobbish people that existed in India. It's a different country. And they took it for granted that nothing will change. Nariman Point will be king, offices have to come there. Kuch nahi badlega. Then the needle changed. And we saw the rise of newer centers because there was so much demand for it, which South Bombay could not fulfill. Now South Bombay is a bit like, I don't know, Shah Rukh Khan before Pathan. You don't really care until that happens. Okay? Our opportunity is that, like Harsh mentioned, I pretty much had the same view about Mumbai. I thought Mumbai was a done and dusted city 5 years back, or 2014-15. Okay? I think Fadnavis changed the game. Okay, I don't think anybody envisaged that Mumbai will see such large-scale infrastructure projects being done, and so many of them. Okay, so in a way, a person outside Mumbai has revived Mumbai to the point that right now, I think they're still far away from there. You talk to a young person who's coming to Mumbai, okay, a young person, just out of college. Him coming to Mumbai is like a home buyer buying a under construction home. There is that hope and excitement, but very quickly you realize it was a bad mistake because it's too expensive, there's no quality of life. We compare ourselves to maybe Hong Kong, New York. But in our situation, the problem is that homes are smaller, but space outside the home is also smaller. We have the lowest per capita open space in the world. Okay, so there's no reason for somebody who's just starting out at a low salary to be in Mumbai currently. Our opportunity will come when Navi Mumbai, you said MMR. Those regions are the ones that will lift MMR. Mumbai will not lift MMR. It's too expensive. Jo hai yahan pe wo hai. People like us will be there. Okay. But anybody who's fresh has to look at geography outside Mumbai. So that will save Mumbai. So this headline will remain the economic powerhouse, but I will replace Mumbai by saying MMR.
वेरी वेल सर. यानी साउथ मुंबई का वो नोकिया हो गया.
Exactly.
It didn't evolve, it didn't change. You know, one thing, because we three are talking about my city, born in Calcutta, Tumio Bengali, and I was born in Mumbai, so मेरा दिल तो यहीं पे है. मुझे दिल्ली में जॉब लगा था, मैं छोड़ के आ गया 2 दिन बाद क्योंकि नहीं जमा. मुंबई छोड़ नहीं सकते आप. तो मेरे लिए तो मुंबई बहुत मायने रखता है. और मैं भले कल्याण में रहता हूँ, और थैंक यू एमएमआर हो गया तो नाउ आई आल्सो कॉल माई सेल्फ एज अ मुंबईकर. बट यू नो, आई वाज टॉकिंग टू समवन बिकॉज you both mentioned Devendra Fadnavis, and in the morning with one of the bureaucrats where I was sitting, we were talking about how Devendra Fadnavis actually changed Mumbai. उनके ऊपर हमेशा ये एलिगेशन लगता है कि तुम नागपुर के हो, मुंबई के बारे में नहीं सोचते. पर 2014 से लेकर आज तक जितने बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स, MTHL की आज हम बात करते हैं, 1970 से आ रहा है प्रोजेक्ट, 2017-15 में उन्होंने शुरुआत की उसकी, और आज MTHL हो गया. कोस्टल रोड 2013 में पहली बार उद्धव ठाकरे जब BMC में थे उन्होंने कहा था, पर कुछ काम नहीं हुआ था. मोस्ट ऑफ द वर्क हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग हिज टाइम. सो एंड नॉट ओनली दैट, ऑल द मेट्रोस, 2014 तक हमारे पास सिर्फ एक मेट्रो. आई रिमेंबर जून 2014 वी ओनली हैड वन मेट्रो 1. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट देयर वाज नथिंग, नो विजन, नो थिंकिंग. इट वाज देवेंद्र फडणवीस हु गॉट इट. सो ऑब्वियसली क्रेडिट टू हिम दैट हम सबके ओपिनियंस चेंज हुए. बट डू यू थिंक द वे मुंबई रियल एस्टेट इज, either of you, will we be able to sustain and survive with this headline? मुंबई रियल एस्टेट बहुत सारी चीज़ों को मुश्किल कर देता है. जो हम चाहते हैं कि हम डेवलप्ड कंट्री जैसे रहें, वॉक टू वर्क कल्चर कर सकें, या बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसे कर सकें जो हमारे घर के नज़दीक हों, बट रियल एस्टेट की प्राइसेस उसको अनअफोर्डेबल कर देते हैं. सो डू यू थिंक रियल एस्टेट की वजह से हम कहीं पीछे हटेंगे, एंड देन दैट इज़ द रीज़न वाई वी विल हैव टू गो बैक बिहाइंड?
So I think Mumbai will remain expensive. And I think there's a simple reason for it. Our cost of doing construction and business in Mumbai is prohibitively high. And getting easy money is a very tough syndrome to get out of. So first, if you look at the type of changes we have seen in premiums for builders. Now, I hold no brief for builders. I really hate most of them. But the type of extraction that has happened from the construction industry, because you had the perception that they made too much money, that when they stop making money, you refuse to cut it. So our operation will be very expensive. Two, one lesser mentioned fact is that our municipal bodies have literally outsourced governance to the builders. Builder is slum clear karega, road banayega, garden banayega, sab log. In return, what will I give you? FSI. The problem with FSI is that the cost to execute the FSI keeps going higher as you go higher. Mr. Vado was saying that going taller it's a very dangerous game, and most countries that have built the tallest buildings, by the time they got complete, the country was under recession right from 1907. The recent one was Burj Khalifa, Dubai, right? That name Khalifa, that came because Abu Dhabi bailed it out. The Sheikh's name was Khalifa. So getting these big projects, they have optical value, but they don't have much meaningful value in terms of returns. Our best bet, I think, is we focus on industries which are easy to penetrate. What do I mean by that? Take what Mumbai has missed. Mumbai has missed what? We don't have enough good schools for the population. When do people leave a city? Most often for the kids. Will he get a good education? Can we create that hub for education in a new city? And we have an opportunity with Navi Mumbai, right? With the type of things coming around, large land parcels, we create that. Other thing is healthcare. We have to target industries where people are willing to spend a lot of time. Jobs are one thing, you spend a lot of time. Education, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and healthcare. There, I think there is still a big opportunity. And if we address that, Mumbai will still be expensive, but our growth will come elsewhere. That's why I said this Mumbai thing will become MMR. And we have that thing, I'm from Mumbai and you're from Thane, Navi Mumbai. That will all change. That's like South Bombay, North Bombay. Na? I sit in Bandra. Now Bandra became South Bombay. Yeah. Same thing will happen with other regions, provided they grow well.
तो यानी ये जो छोटे नहीं गलत बात होगा, जो दूसरे states try कर रहे हैं, what will happen to that? Other states are also trying to become, have international finance centers.
See, as India's economy goes from $3.5 trillion right now to $5, $10, $15, $20 trillion, you will need more urban areas, right? So our current official urbanization rate is actually underestimated. We have a very specific and too difficult a criterion to actually measure urbanization. A true urbanization rate is probably half or slightly more. The official data shows slightly less. So it's not a zero-sum game in that extent. I think what Uttar Pradesh is seeing in terms of infrastructure development is extremely impressive. And if you look at the demographics, it makes sense from Lucknow and eastern UP part, besides the Noida region, to have one very big urban area there, kind of agglomeration. You know how in Germany there is the Ruhr region. The Ruhr region does not have any one big city, but that entire region is super urban. From Cologne to Luxembourg, Netherlands, Belgium, that entire northwestern Germany area is extremely urbanized, one of their most productive areas. So in the long run, parts of Uttar Pradesh, if the infrastructure there gets better, continues this trajectory can happen. But coming back to Mumbai, I think in Mumbai, let's not be deterministic. What has to happen is, I think Vishal made a very excellent point about not having enough schools and parks, which Mr. Vadhu had also said. See, we don't have any Central Park or Hyde Park here, but we have the world's biggest wildlife national park on top of the city, Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Now, Sanjay Gandhi National Park, we did not even get environmental permission to do a flyover. Now we are building a tunnel from Borivali to Thane. It will take 3-4 years to happen. And see, at some point we have to be practical. We live on a city which was reclaimed from the sea. This idea that in our civilization we don't touch the ecosystem is all nonsense. Just the Borivali tunnel got permission yesterday only. It came in the news 2 days ago. And they said 235 trees will be cut. I mean, that's excellent that we are measuring everything. 235 trees will be cut. You please plant 2,350 trees somewhere else. But again, there is something called stickiness to human capital. It's called urban agglomeration. Because people are already here, there is a coordination problem for people to move somewhere else. Therefore, the salt pans, which Mr. Vadhwa had mentioned, if you see east of Vikhroli, those entire marshland areas where a lot of birds fly in from Russia or wherein, it makes no sense to not reclaim those areas. See, I understand it will go to the environmental authorities, it will go to the Supreme Court, and there will be a lot of activists. They look at that capitalist, he does not care about the environment. But this is actually anti-poor if you think about it. If you don't build enough urban housing, how will the lower middle class, how will the blue-collar working class person live in something which looks decent? The cholification and the slums are an inevitable result of you pretending to live in Scandinavia when you're not in Scandinavia. So I think it is getting more and more sensible. Where it is not sensible, we'll have to build around it. For example, the tunnel under Sanjay Gandhi National Park. But now that the hinterland is opening, and honestly, even this Atal Setu is not enough. We need one more Setu from even further south to Navi Mumbai. Yeah, well, if you look at Manhattan on both sides, Long Island, and on this side on the mainland, there are 3-4 each on both sides. So I think it will happen. But what has finally happened is infrastructure as a discourse has entered the discourse in a very mainstream way. I remember जब 2014 में नरेंद्र मोदी जी आए थे, तो सब लोग रेगन थैचर की बात कर रहे थे, क्योंकि right wing economics आएगा. But Reagan Thatcher came in 1980s when US और UK में infrastructure पहले बन चुका था. And therefore our economists also were basically parroting those lines from there. So now we've understood that look at China, look at Netherlands. Netherlands has a density similar to ours.
Yes.
Non-mountainous parts of Japan has a population density similar to ours. So if we do the basics, there is no reason why Mumbai will do much better. And because this, see right now what is happening is, you go to Cuff Parade or the Vivanta Hotel, the entire road is blocked because of the metro. But as soon as this Kolaba Seeps line and everything else comes online, the pain phase goes away and the gain phase starts. And the proof of concept, the proof of the pudding is in the eating is in front of your eyes. That creates political capital for the next round of infrastructure to happen. So I am very, very bullish on India at large, and Mumbai specifically, for the next 10-20 years at least. Of course, if we take a 30-40 year view, I do think one of the world's largest urban regions will come somewhere in Uttar Pradesh. It's just the demographics of the place. But for the next 10-20 years, I am very, very bullish on Mumbai, precisely because of now people like Fadnavis and many IAS officers have worked very hard to create infrastructure. But even now, our ambitions are honestly not as high as they should be. In this budget, we just had an 11% hike. Now the BJP government has spoiled us. So last year was 35%, so 11% seems low. But honestly, we need to do much, much more.
You know, you spoke about UP. I wanted to talk about UP, but उस पे थोड़ी देर बाद आते हैं. मुझे एक बात बताइए, where did Mumbai miss the bus?
As Vishal said, we missed the bus because we did not connect to the hinterland, and therefore the BPO, KPO revolution, as he rightly said, somebody with a starting fresh, low salary guy. Remember, TCS Infosys starting salaries for 15-20 years remained at 3 lakhs. Now, if you are getting 3, 4, 5 lakhs and you're marrying and you have a 1-year or 2-year-old child, you can't survive in Mumbai. Right? I mean, at least you can't survive in a situation where you think you should as an educated person. I mean, there are all kinds of social issues in one's mind as well, whether we like it or not. So that was the issue is very simple. It's the availability of real estate. Real estate availability is in turn contingent on connectivity. Connectivity means you open up the hinterland, you also open up parts of the city which are currently foreclosed for environmental or other reasons. And it is simply a matter of executing it. Even if Japan did not give us a loan, we could have easily done it on our own. It's good that we have friends like Japan. But the reason is we have to create more connectivity, as you said, more bridges to Navi Mumbai. And then I think the long-term plan has to be make Mumbai, Pune as one integrated urban region. See, if you look at Greater San Francisco Bay Area, there is a lot of mountainous regions in Greater LA also. ऐसा नहीं है कि if you have Lonavala or Khandala in the middle, it can't be an urban extension. So if you look at from this side of Pune, from the western side of Pimpri side and the new IT areas, and then if you start looking from Navi Mumbai, in effect, the new Navi Mumbai airport is basically going to be Pune's airport as well. So now that the missing link will further reduce the travel time between the two cities by 30 minutes, and we have the Atal Setu, so by 2030, it should become one integrated region. That should be the aim. to have Mumbai, Pune as one integrated urban region, because एक और एक 11 होते हैं, दो नहीं होते.
Yeah, Vishal, this is the second time since morning I'm listening to this कि मुंबई और पुणे एक हो जाएंगे. वो अलग चीज़ है कि कल्चर एक नहीं हो पाएगा, पर मुंबई और पुणे बहुत महाराष्ट्र का कल्चर बहुत अलग है ना. वहाँ पे वो दोपहर को सोने वाली आदत अभी भी है या नहीं पता नहीं पुणे में, बट दैट इज सेकेंडरी. बट इफ मुंबई एंड पुणे हैपन्स, लाइक व्हाट एवरीवन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट, अगर मैं 2 घंटे में कल्याण से यहाँ आता हूँ और कल्याण से 2 घंटे में पुणे पहुँच जाता हूँ, सो where do we see Mumbai then? Are we talking about not Mumbai only? Are we talking about Mumbai as a bigger city that extends till Pune? What exactly are we, मुझे ये नहीं समझा सुबह से कि हम फिर उसको बुलाएंगे क्या?
So see, what I think they'll call is what some developers have already figured out on the Mumbai-Pune expressway, where you see projects, locations which are called Mumbai. Pune plus, okay. So I'm not saying that's a great name. Okay. Okay. I'm not saying it's a great name, but then
just say it once again.
Mumbai. So,
Mumbai. Okay.
So okay, but I think developers generally are ahead of the curve. Okay, they may come out with horrible names and all, but they set the trajectory. Now, how will it be? I think that's an interesting question, because if that was to happen, we will see a giant city, but we will see it becoming almost normalized across the plate. Okay, I'll tell you what that means. There used to be a phase where specific locations in Mumbai had very different prices. Price of one location was 3x of something 10 kilometers away. Now we are almost at the stage where most of Mumbai has one price, and within Mumbai there are certain projects that get a higher price, etc. But broadly it's the same thing. Somebody who's staying at, say, at Versova, he can afford something at Pedder Road. Okay. If we do that add Navi Mumbai, Pune, we will see that internal migration happen. I think it's a pretty long-term story, and I'm fairly sure Harsh expects that to happen maybe in 10, 15, 20 years. It's that sort of a game. But if that happens, we'll probably see city getting united, regions getting almost extended when it comes to price normalization. Whether it's administratively manageable, because right now when we see the type of machinery we have for some of our government setups, they aren't able to manage what we already have. How will it get managed? That I think is a bigger challenge. Mumbai and all will happen. Builders will make that happen also quickly. But whether it is governable, that's the question.
Absolutely. Coming to UP, what did UP do right in the last few years? Apart from
I think the basics are always the same. You have to do better on law and order. You have to invest more on infrastructure. See, unlike large parts of the world, India already has the basics in terms of the population density. India's overall population density is around 400 people per square kilometer. UP is around almost 1,000. Eastern UP and parts of Bihar are now 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, which is, by the way, the entire state has a population density of Greater New York City, which is basically New York City plus parts of New Jersey and Connecticut. That entire density is that of the entire state. So which is why if you think Bihar has the lowest urbanization number in India and Kerala has the highest urbanization number, but actually the population density is the same. You just give more amenities and the villages get declared to be towns. So actually what needs to happen in UP is to just double down, triple down and quadruple down on infrastructure. And again, infrastructure, as Mr. Vadhwa rightly said, is not just roads. It is sanitation, it is social infrastructure, human capital investments, etc. But there is really nothing magical about development beyond a point. When as a student of economics, I get frustrated when economists say we don't know how growth happens. Like that is the kind of answer only somebody in academia can give, because it's the safest answer to give. You sound intellectual also, you sound smart. That is so complicated, so nuanced. No, the basics are very simple. You need to have more economies of scale. For that, you need more interconnectivity, which happens on infrastructure. Neelkanth Mishra, who earlier was in Credit Suisse, is now in Axis Bank, wrote a very famous paper 10 years ago, that until the rural roads were not pakka, people used to sew their own clothes. Just like हमारी नानी लोग पहले पापड़ बनाती थी खुद. The moment the markets got integrated, you used to start buying this stuff from shops. So in Uttar Pradesh, they just need to make more infrastructure, because Uttar Pradesh is a microcosm of India at large. But the Uttar Pradesh story will take another 10-12 years. Bihar will take another 5-10 years. So for the next 10 years, Mumbai is the only game in town. For a moment, it seemed that Bangalore would be more cosmopolitan than Mumbai. But I think as of now, it is fair to say that Mumbai still has the most cosmopolitan tag in India. But there is a socio-cultural angle also. It's not just politics. It's not just economics. There is an angle of people feeling welcome from all across the country, which I think Mumbai still has an edge on. I mean, there are issues everywhere. And I think that is ultimately that, that overused word is spirit of Mumbai. I think there is something real to it. I mean, as somebody who was not born in Mumbai, I maybe have a more romantic idea of Mumbai if I came here. But I think there is something in the city as well, which is ineffable, it's indescribable, but it is real. And so long as that openness remains, along with the other infrastructure aspects, I think the city will, along with India, be one of the world's greatest, as the Indian financial system becomes much larger, Indian capital account opens, the number of high quality, well-paying financial jobs that will be created here will be 10 times what we already have. And to some extent, it's a metric, it's a proxy of the stock market also, because the stock market is here, Bollywood is here. So if the stock market does well, the Mumbai real estate and Mumbai as a city has to do well. In terms of percentage increment appreciation, Mumbai may not do as well as parts of NCR, Northern Bengaluru, maybe Gift City, maybe parts of UP in percentage terms. But in absolute terms, right now, there is still no other game in town.
Absolutely. वो जो रोमांस की बात की आपने ना, वो बारिश का पहला 2 दिन हम सबको अच्छा लगता है, फिर उसके बाद में जब थर्ड डे से यू गेट स्टक वो सारा रोमांस हवा में उड़ जाता है, पता नहीं क्यों. बट एब्सोल्युटली ट्रू दैट मुंबई, आई तो वुड विश कि मुंबई till the day I am alive remains the best city in the country. But what can make it better?
I think Varun, by Mumbai, you mean Mumbai city, right? I think we have to now start following the master plan that we actually structure. Most cities have that problem in India, but I think in Mumbai it's a bit too much. We make great master plans, but we don't follow them, which is why we see haphazard development all over the place. Otherwise, there are provisions when they draft the plan that you should be having gardens, parks, schools, everything is there. It's just that वहाँ पे पत्रा लग जाता है and the park does not come up or the garden does not come up. And now probably you might see the scene that a park may even go away. I think nothing radical. Like you said, now about economics is just basics. Same thing about development over here. We have great strengths, right from being an entrenched city to our languages, to an acceptability of migrants, which currently Bangalore does not have to the same degree. I'm sure that will change. So we just stick to the basics of focusing on governance, looking at the city from the lens of the resident. Because I think we have seen so much influx of migrants now, and big population. I think administrators have also thought, they have gone low in your pecking order, which is why we think TK is coming, slum bana do, ye footpath de do, ye kar do. Those are not sustainable solutions. It's pretty shameful that for a city like Mumbai, which had such a head start, 1/4 of our habitable area is today occupied by slums. Okay. And our policy is such that we incentivize more slums.
Free में घर देते हैं.
And I don't know how many people know this, that in SRA you are assured of a minimum size of a home
300
for the slum dweller, but a home buyer does not have any minimum size of a home. So there are projects today in Mumbai where the home to a slum dweller is bigger than the home being sold to the home buyer. So the home buyer is subsidizing the slum dweller, but he has a smaller home. So we have to go back to the basics, focus on specific industries, like I said, healthcare, education. I think education is a low-hanging fruit. Okay, Mumbai or no Mumbai. Navi Mumbai can fulfill what Mumbai needs. There is a housing rise over here. And I think, one data point, Varun, you should keep in mind, is that look at the number of non-residential developments that are happening in Mumbai. That will tell you what people are seeing. Today, 90% of all the development that is happening is residential. 10% is non-residential, and that includes offices, retail, everything. Okay. Only residential doesn't make a society.
Absolutely.
So, if that is the case, your next bet will be getting into newer regions, forming with agglomerations, bigger agglomerations that Harsh mentioned about, And then I think we'll be in a very sound spot. Then I think Mumbai is literally unbeatable. Because only people who can kill Mumbai is Mumbai itself. Like just like how we were talking before the session, New York, the state of New York, where they have allowed so many people to come from outside that the infrastructure is not willing to support it. And then the quality of life for everybody comes down, till the point that nobody else wants to come in. So Mumbai saw that for long. Now it's changing. We have to seize the initiative, not let it go. And I think one thing we should do is not think about policies like grabbing race course and all. Okay, because that part's the key part of what Mumbai is.
ओके यानी विशाल का ये कहना था कि जिन्हें सोचना था शहर को बढ़ाने के लिए उन्होंने सोचना बंद कर दिया. सो प्रोबेबली द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स हु शुड हैव थॉट अबाउट हाउ टू मेक दिस सिटी बेटर, लेट्स मेक मुंबई बेटर, उन्होंने सोचना छोड़ दिया. वी आर टुवर्ड्स द एंड. आई वुड आस्क वन क्वेश्चन टू बोथ ऑफ यू. मेरे को पूछ लें, मेरा खत्म हो जाए मैं आपके पास आ जाऊंगा. Common question to both of you. Do you think high time that Mumbai needs a CEO or MMR?
I fully agree with that. I think it's a general point. Indian cities, most people don't know the name of the mayor. The way the political system is structured, we need mayors, and then I think we need area deputy mayors. Like you don't know who to call. For example, if you see a gadda in front of your house or whatever, and if we are all so used to it now that we don't even think in those terms. So the short answer is have direct elections. People forget Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, if I'm not wrong, was briefly Calcutta mayor. A lot of people became leaders at that time by coming up in urban politics. So right now the situation is very, very dire, where it is of course there is a den of money and all that, but we need more presidential kind of elections at the urban level, where we can hold one person accountable and we can also put our hopes and aspirations on that person.
I think I totally agree on that. We need directly elected leaders at the municipal level. Otherwise, right now, there's a lot of power without responsibility. Leaders need to see consequences. Only then they will behave in the manner that the residents want them to. So I think Harsh is spot on there. I think we need directly elected leaders for this.
Okay. I have a different opinion. Not that I do not think leaders should be not there. But मुझे लगता है कि leaders से ज़्यादा जो मायने रखते हैं या फिर जो नहीं काम करते हैं वो हैं हमारे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स. उनको कैसे अकाउंटेबल बनाए? आप अभी जो वाधवा जी ने कहा कि DCPR जो खराब करके चले गए, उन्होंने अपनी शक्ति दिखाने के लिए ये कर दिया, तो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को कैसे रेस्पॉन्सिबल बनाएंगे हम?
That is above my pay grade.
I think Harsh actually answered that in the previous part of the question actually. See, the same bureaucrats were there that worked under Fadnavis right now to do all these large infra projects. The same ones existed earlier. So I think if you have tough leadership, it can be done. So while I agree with your point of view that the quality of bureaucrats may not be as good, and some of them may be just terrible and arrogant, but it can be done with tight leadership.
Okay. सच घटे या बढ़े तो सच न रहे, झूठ की कोई इंतहा ही नहीं. तो सच तो यही है. हाँ, आप भी लोगों के पास आ रहा हूँ. तो दो आपको पूछना था सर सवाल. पहला माइक इनको दे दीजिए, फिर रूबिन को दे देंगे.
अभी हमें जो बात कर रहे तो है कि मुंबई का बात, व्हाट इज मुंबई. नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट enhancing the boundaries of the Mumbai to MMR or Mumbai, what is the new coined word as such. But हम एक मिस कर रहे हैं कि यही दो cities नहीं है. अभी we are just missing the development of the Vadhavan port which is coming up. We are missing the Dighi port, industrial port which is coming up. We are missing the connectivity which is being developed between the JNPT port, the Bhiwandi market, which is a warehousing and logistic market, and the financial market through the, what I mean to say, the bullet train corridor. The bullet train corridor also goes to Nasik and all, the newly planned along the Samruddhi till Nagpur. The bullet train corridor will connect the hinterland of Pune and Hyderabad under the DPR stage. So our definition of how the bringing the connectivity and the infra investments in the MMR region is changing. We are the highest data centers in Navi Mumbai. I think 60 to 80% of the India's data center is driven in Navi Mumbai. We are the highest gems and jewelry park. I know that Surat thing and all, but all the people are coming back. The Airoli Gems and Jewelry Park and the another MIDC Jewelry Park is around the corner. So we are just concentrating on the city of Mumbai or maybe South Bombay and the definition of BKC and all. But the hinterland of Mumbai is massively changing. The express highway along the Mumbai-Pune is completely being master planned by MSRDC. It is getting changed. And the new areas, of course, that Atal Setu is being opening up. So I believe as that what we are seeing in India's economic powerhouse, the definition there will be in next 5 years a multiplier effect on the Mumbai's economic engine, because Mumbai had a JNPT as a one port and one airport. We created so much of growth here. Now we are getting 2 more ports, 1 more airport. You see what sort of connectivity globally and locally we are bringing in. We are having opening up the hinterlands. Land prices are in the lower in the hinterlands. Yes, the housing market will change. The people who want to work can come. They can commute to the higher working areas and all. So we are seeing that the economic engine, which we are creating through port and other things, and this thing will be supported by the residential across different. So the economic engine of Mumbai is in place. We will see a multiplier effect and the economic effect in coming 3 to 5 years. Here's the vision of the bureaucrats which was explained in the morning. We definitely agree. Such type of bureaucrats will create a lot of value to the MMR region. The definition of MMR will change, the boundaries will change. So I support that, yes, Mumbai will remain the economic powerhouse going forward. So this is our view.
Absolutely. That is what I think we all three sitting over here said. We didn't give those examples that you said because probably we meant when we were speaking about MMR, we thought we are sitting with people who, when we talk about MMR expanding its boundary, we thought like they would be considering all those aspects. But good, you pointed out to us, and that is what our intention was also. It wouldn't be the headline will change. Mumbai की जगह पे Mumbai metropolitan region हो जाएगा बस उतना. हाँ रूबिन.
Do you continue seeing influx of Indian businesses? I mean, people who are selling their companies in Ahmedabad and smaller towns, Indore and all these places, as wealth is growing. I mean, everybody's not going to move to Dubai. So do you see a lot of that migration of wealth also happening to Bombay from across the country?
So I think in percentage terms, I mean, it's a very...
Not percentage terms, but I'm saying say 500 or 1,000 people sold their company.
Yeah, so I was
about
to say that only. If you say, look at BSE 500, something like BSE 500,
yes.
I think over time, so I've not done this exercise, but I think over time, the percentage of headquarters in Mumbai will probably fall. But I think the percentage of headquarters falling in Mumbai is not necessarily a sign of Mumbai not remaining a very big economic powerhouse. What I mean by that is, first of all, the financial industry here, I think in terms of scale and pay and all that, is still in its very infant stages right now. Mumbai is nowhere close to being a global financial center right now. I mean, there are reasons. Our economy is relatively small compared to big countries. We don't have an open capital account. So I think once that gets sorted, there will be many companies here, but will the largest non-financial corporations, if you look at the US, it's a very decentralized headquarters. You're right that New York was very much a 60s, 70s story about headquarters of corporation, the Chrysler building, so on and so forth. But now Walmart is in Arkansas, some random is in Tesla is going to Texas right now, and so on and so forth. So I don't think the percentage of headquarters in Mumbai will increase. I think overall, but what I do think is that Mumbai is that kind of mega city where, just because we are discussing so much real estate and Vishal is on the panel, where real estate prices actually in large parts of the land, inner land, don't rise much faster over long periods of time than inflation. Slightly faster than inflation. But Mumbai is a kind of place where it rises as fast or slightly faster than nominal GDP. Because here it's not just about being other rich people or other well-connected people. Living here is also kind of a luxury consumption good. And there is it's an underappreciated aspect of being in the place where people beyond a point just want to be around other people like them. So Mumbai becomes, and again, it's a classic agglomeration case. So no, not yes answer to the headquarters thing, but does not change the overall story.
Okay.
Okay, Varun, just if I can ask Harsh question on this. Do you think that we will see the percentage of big companies? You said BSE 500. Will the percentage of big companies that are there on the BSE 500 be headquartered in Mumbai? Will it be that way?
So I think BSE 500 is broadly the big companies only. I think that percentage will fall over time. I would not be surprised if more companies come up over time in Ahmedabad or in Bengaluru or parts of Uttar Pradesh. But I think it will be a very gradual decline, because anybody who's already here, and there's an entire legal ecosystem, there's a CS ecosystem. So these things happen over decades. But because the overall growth engine is so large that even if you are 40% instead of 50%, the multiplier has been 10x. So that percentage does not make that much of a difference.
Ruben, you had something.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was a lot of discussion about, power without responsibility for the bureaucrats. I think they only have power, they have no accountability right now. You have BMC elections. We don't have BMC elections for the last 2 years. As of 1st January 2024, there is not a single municipal corporation in all of Maharashtra which has public representation. That's the situation right now. Second, with regards to BMC also, there's another comment with regards to competence. If you literally see the BMC budget outlays, you see these large numbers. You just look at what's happening with regards to its budgets on capital expenditure, for that matter. 50% of it is lapsed, right? So where is the competence to even utilize what is actually, we speak about all these so-called big items and etc. And the third thing is, I think you touched upon it, which is overall the governance ecosystem, especially when we speak about participatory governance, when we speak about devolution and decentralization of power. There was something very interesting with regards to the 74th Amendment and the Nagar Raj bill, which was basically passed by the legislature, but it was still not notified, right? So maybe if you could perhaps comment specifically on this, maybe all three of you all.
I'll just quickly start there.
Yeah,
I think I fully agree with most of the points you made. Why just municipalities? See, as somebody, if you want to go and understand where the state government's budget goes, it is impossible to get the budgets properly. In fact, Maharashtra is one of the few states which has an economic survey equivalent to the union government. My biggest grievance is, can't we just have machine readable standard format where you spent money, revenue, capex, opex, etc., how you borrowed? Just getting those numbers is also very difficult. Thanks to RBI, it's now slightly easier. So forget a municipality. We should have machine readable information on this is where we spend the money right now. This is the accountable officer phone number. This is the email address. And this is basic digital governance reform. It does not take that much. You know how companies upload their information to NSE and BSE websites, right? It's an XLMR format or something. That's just instant machine readable. It goes to Bloomberg, it goes to Reuters. It should be easy to do. It's not being done, and it's not being done for obviously reasons of various stakeholders not wanting that kind of transparency. So the fact that there have not been elections, the fact that the budgets are not readable, this is a crisis of urban governance in our country. This is no doubt that this is one of the big issues, irrespective of Mumbai, beyond Mumbai as well. It's a big problem.
Yeah, just to take forward from what Harsh is talking about the budget, you see the big numbers on the BMC budget annual, 39,000 crore, 50,000 crore. If you go deeper into the numbers, many people will be surprised to know how much of it goes towards employees. Okay, so it's just when I checked it in 2022, if my memory serves me right, it was 56%. Yeah, so you're talking almost 3/5 of your budget going just to service employees, and I don't think anybody has a clue at this point. The number of employees keep changing depending on the newspaper article I read. But if you do a proper audit, I think we'll find a lot of opportunity to clean up things, and that will eventually help the city.
Two things. Firstly, पहला चीज तो ये कि हाँ, the 74th Amendment नगर राज्य वाला जो बिल है should be implemented. There is, I don't think anybody in this country has ever opposed it. No one would say that no, we shouldn't have reforms, and everyone isn't for reform, and it should be implemented because it makes people whom you're electing more accountable, and it also serves the major purpose of making those elected representatives answerable to those people who have voted for them. So absolutely, there is no denying it. you know, because we all are talking, he mentioned about that elections are not happening. Even you said elections are not happening for the local bodies. It is not because that a government or a political party doesn't want an election to happen. There are certain cases going on. There is OBC quota reservation issue that is happening. OBC quota in the number of seats of OBCs, how much it should be and it shouldn't be. There are certain discrepancies in that, and that is the biggest reason why elections in most of the municipal corporations aren't happening right now. So, you know, just to set the record straight, that it isn't that the government in power now or the government in power 2.5 years ago or 1.5 year ago, MB or UPA or NDA, they are not holding the elections. They are not holding because they can't hold it because of that reservation issue. Once it is sorted out, I think it will happen. And I always feel that जैसे सब लोग सुबह से बोल रहे थे कि आप गरीबों को एम्पावर करो तो अमीर भी सही आ जाएंगे, पर मुझे लगता है कि इस देश में आज करप्शन इस लेवल पर है और जो गरीब भी है वो भी उसी में उतना ही इन्वॉल्व है वहाँ तक. तो जो आपने स्कूल की बात कही, शायद वो स्कूलों में, वो घरों में उन चीज़ों को सिखाएं तो शायद अच्छा हो सके. एंड आई डोंट थिंक कोई और किसी और विषय पे हमें और कुछ करना था. सूरज, आप आ सकते हैं, मंच आपका है. वी आर डन.
Unless there are other questions.
कोई था, किसी को सवाल पूछना? अच्छा सर, आपको एक, सूरज 2 मिनट रुक सकता हूँ.
Give me a short answer if a short answer is possible.
Sure.
The diamond bores shifting to Surat. Any lessons to be drawn?
No, I think more like that should happen. In fact, I think you mentioned the bullet train, which we had missed. So the city is not just, MMR is not just extending here in horizontal sense or east-west sense, it's extending in a north-south sense as well. The lessons are, we need bigger land parcels, we need cheaper land parcels. So beyond a point, it's not possible unless you do away with some of these environmental regulations. We do have land in Mumbai also, forget Navi Mumbai. But we have locked out all those land parcels. So sooner or later, you had mentioned some of the diamond work came back, but in the long run, some of this non-ultra high-end work, value add, will have to leave Mumbai. I mean, we have a Rashtra chemical factory near Chembur, Vadala. Yeah. I find that really interesting that it's kind of an anachronism. So that will have to move eventually.
ठीक है, चलिए सूर्यास्त करते हैं.
Thanks so much, Varun, Harsh, and Vishal ji. This brings us to the end of today's function, the Mumbai Investor and Real Estate Conclave. So now I think all it remains is for the CEO of Swarajya, Prasanna, to give a vote of thanks before we conclude today's event. He will be here tonight. I think most of us have been here from 9 in the morning, so a big round of applause for yourselves.
Guys, thank you so much. Fantastic event. Thanks to the NSE for all the venue hospitality, the NSE team, Prathamesh who's here, who's been a huge pillar of strength for supporting this event. And also apologies. Apparently the deputy CEO, I think me and Varun have been in touch with him for probably the last 7 days, and it was a done deal, but I think something changed yesterday and a bit of an uncertainty was introduced. He was still hoping to make it, but he has promised to do a session for all the registered audience very shortly in the same venue. I've already spoken with the NSE folks, so we'll come back here, but that's going to be a short, impactful 1 hour session. I really apologize once again that what we thought would be the fitting culmination of a great day would have happened, but apologies, that's what I can say. And thank you so much, Mumbaikars, for all the love and affection that you have shown to Swarajya. Thank you.
Yeah, I just forgot there's also some mementos for our 3 panelists today. One final big round of applause, please.
so much.